You're on.
Huh?
You're on.
We're on. We're good? I don't even know.
There we go. Yeah.
Good, yeah? Hey, welcome everybody here. Unity Tour stop number 11. We're in San Bernardino, California. We got quite a little story to tell you there. We got booted. We got kicked, banned, Unity Tour banned from the VFW. We had set it up ahead of time to be in the VFW right down the road. And we pull up with the RV and the other people. There's three other cars following us. So we're amassing a little bit of a convoy. And anyway, the guy comes out and meets us and says, oh, no political events. If you want to see that interaction after we're done here, go to Lewis's X account. They were videoing the conversation, the back and forth between the guy managing the...
It's on Screw Big Instagram too.
And it's on the Screw Big Gov Instagram too, I've just been told. So yeah, you can check that out later. But yeah, so we move and we adapt. So we found a park. There's a park here. There's baseball fields in front of me. We got the RV as our backdrop. Just about a few hundred yards that way is a huge, fairly large size tent city. So it's very obvious that Bidenomics is working here in San Bernardino.
The address of the park is 17.
Yeah, check this out too. So I mean, the universe knows what's going on, right? God is in control of everything. When we got kicked out of the VFW, we said, let's find a park. So we started looking, searching online. We found the park, the address of the park, 1717. Go figure, huh?
Fifth Street, Fifth Avenue.
Yeah. So we're here. We're waiting to see if anybody showed up at the VFW, and then we had somebody down there sitting, pointing, directing them down here. And nobody showed up yet, so it's just us.
Yeah,
Two? Well, I don't know where those people are. But we're here, we're excited. It was a great drive, 3-hour drive from Las Vegas. We left at 5:15 a.m. So we're here, we got the Unity Tour going on. Everybody knows what's going on here.
Can we get a group shot real quick?
Yeah, everybody come in.
Come on, look at everybody come in, and we're gonna just give a quick wave real quick.
Even Natalie and Oticelli.
Yeah, come
We
and
got
say hi.
Dr.
So-
Layla Ali came in here
Yes,
today.
thank you for joining us today.
This is our team. Oticelli
Come on,
doesn't want to.
Araceli. Come on, Araceli.
Lewis is in the RV working, trying to help set up future venues, future events. But we're just doing what we do, right? Traveling the country, spreading the word. And, it's disheartening, that we come to the city like this and almost nobody shows up besides us. That kind of gives you a microcosm of what's the apathy that's going on in our country, that people don't want to be burdened. They don't want to be uncomfortable. They don't want to do the things. Everybody wants to be a patriot until it's time to do some patriot shit, right? So now's the time. We need to step up our game because the evil Luciferian asshats, those guys are not giving up. They're pushing full steam ahead. So if we're just going to sit around and wait for somebody else to do it for us, we're going to be in a world of hurt as a collective society. Individually, me, myself, and I, and my wife, my family, me and mine, we're going to be fine. It's how I think. Everything is mindset. You know me, mindset guy. It's all in how you perceive stuff, how you look at stuff, your thoughts, where you live. If you're feeling some anxiety about what's going on, if you're feeling a little bit of fear or uneasiness, you need to change your thoughts. And that's why the mindset stuff that I talk about is so important. We need to be those warriors, those mentally strong, spiritually strong, physically strong, to be able to go through and fight this battle that we're fighting, right? The health stuff is super important. We're doing what we can to be as healthy as possible with all the garbage that's going on. And then here in San Bernardino, as we were driving in, coming off the top of a hill, you could see there's a big fire somewhere near here, smoke everywhere. I feel like a brisket, a Texas brisket in a smoker, but it's kind of cloudy, overcast-ish, very hazy. You can smell the smell in the air of the fire. But we're here doing what we do. And We got several people that can come up and share, what's going on with them, what they're seeing. Like I said, it would have been nice to see more of the local people show up. But hey, if there's nobody, we're still going to do it. We're going to do the live stream. We're going to, give the information. We're going to talk to people around us and let them know, hey, we need to unite. We need to come together regardless of any minor differences that we may have in what we think, how we see things, what we perceive, our perception of what's going on. We need to be the warriors that are going to stand up against the tyranny, right? And what's that saying? When tyranny becomes law, rebellion becomes duty. That's where we're at. They're pushing and pushing and pushing, and they're going to continue to F around and find out. More and more people, I think, are aware of what's going on, but there's still, through many other lawfare situations, FBI raiding people, the social media stigma, because the left is just crazy like that. They'll dox people. People are afraid to stand up because they're afraid of maybe losing their job, maybe losing some social standing, and God forbid anybody lose any money. So this is where we're at. We're at this inflection point, if you will, in this fight, because I know, like I know my own name, that things are going to get worse. So if we don't stand up and prepare ourselves now, imagine if we do nothing. What is that going to look like for you and your family? What is that going to look like for your community, your county? What is that going to look like when we're, power outages because of lack of stuff, food shortages because lack of whatever? These are all potentiality things that are happening. I'm not saying it's going to happen. I don't know when, but it is a very high possibility that things can go south to the point where we're not going to have the electricity. We're not going to have the creature comforts, internet, cell phones, So we got to prepare ourselves. I mean, in here, up underneath here, I can live in this RV with anything, food. I got a year's worth of food in here. The Patriot Supply stuff, the MREs. I got a year's worth underneath here. I got one of those life straws. It's a gallon little vessel. You can probably pour toilet water in there. It'll filter it out and come out nice and clean. So we gotta prepare. The only thing I'd be scrambling for would be fuel if I need to move. And so that's where we're at. This is where we're at. This is just showing you a microcosm where we're at in this country. The apathy, the lack of people willing to stand up and do what needs to be done, make our voices heard. United non-compliance is one of the huge things that's going to get us, to stop these tyrannical, overreaching local governments, city governments, state, even in the federal. It's all needs to come down, in my opinion, my viewpoint, unpopular as it might be. So we're here. We got several people here that want to share. But let's before we jump too far into this thing, let's have Andrew come up and give a blessing or say a prayer, ask for favor for what we're doing here today in our continued journey. So Andrew, it's all yours.
All right. Thank you, Poppy. Greatest road warrior in America got us here. And what a great day. And so the sun's shining even though it's hard to see, and the truth is solid even when we feel shaky, so we can stand on the truth. And the Almighty is watching us at every moment. So let's come before our Heavenly Father. Heavenly Father, thank you for another beautiful day. Thank you for the health that you provided for us, the nation that you have provided for us with divine providence. Thank you for every patriot out on the front lines and all those back home that are supplying the lines. Thank you for all the people that are standing up for truth. Let us give voice to those that don't have a voice. Let us be the ones that stand in the way of evil and corruption, and help us to be victorious. We know that you're with us and for us, and so all we need to do is settle our differences, lay down our pride, link our arms, find out what really matters, prioritize that, and we walk forward victoriously in the mighty and powerful name of Christ Jesus.
Man. All right, thanks, Andrew. Andrew's the technical guy. They got the little office set up inside here. I mean, that's where we're able to set up mobile. We pulled out. We weren't at a inside venue, right? So we pulled out. We got a generator. We pulled out, plugged in the Starlink. Thank you, Elon. Yep, all set up over there with the Starlink. Got the internet going. We're standing here in the park, just doing what we do. We got, like I said, several people that are here willing to travel with us, willing to share, willing to stand up, and we're going to share those stories with you. Maybe it'll inspire you. Maybe it will prod you to some action. We know that local action has national impact, according to Flynn. Lewis says all the time, the micro fixes the macro, and the 4 pillars of our unity tour. If we unite, we can end New World control, and there's lots of that going on. Whether it's the United Nations, World Economic Forum, WHO, all the international, multinational corporations that really are the ones funding all of this evilness for their own greed. The stuff that they're feeding us or that they're telling us is food, they're poisoning us little by little. This isn't hyperbole. We're not trying to make it bigger than it is. It's just fact. If you continue to eat, we all continue to eat the processed foods and the sugars and all that stuff, we're going to get sicker and sicker and sicker. Then we got to rely upon big pharma. Allegedly, they want to put pills down your throat, and that you need another pill to counteract the side effects of that one. So we got Dr. Layla Ali, who's going to share here a little while later about, she was a pharmacist. She woke up to realize, hey, this isn't what I thought it was going to be. So we're going to bring her up. We got Christine Geiger from Michigan traveling with us. She's fighting First Amendment fights against the state of Michigan. We got Michelle Skiow from Colorado, who is super crazy good in the spiritual stuff, really connected to a lot of the spiritual stuff that has to do with also Native American stuff. I have a huge heart for the Native Americans because what our government has done, not even in the United States, worldwide, to indigenous peoples through the false thing of advancement, exploration. We basically stole all their shit, and then we put them in an open air jail called reservations, and it's just been horrible. It makes me it breaks my heart. So that's what we got going on here today. And like I said, San Bernardino, California. Later today, we'll be in San Diego, right? That's where we're going after this. And then tomorrow, we're off for a very special event for a team member. And so we're going to be taking tomorrow off and having a little party with a private party. And then after that, we're going up to where are we going after that? Anaheim. I don't even know the schedule. Just give me the address. I'm on a need-to-know basis. And just tell me, put the address in the GPS, and I drive. That's what I do. So look at the schedule. Go to unitytour.us, unitytour.us to get the dates, the times, locations. As we are booking the events, we're putting the location of the events on the website. So even if it's a little bit of a drive, it'd be worth it. Trust me. You'll be blessed beyond measure. So let's jump right in here and let's see who I can call on first. Let's do Christine. Let's get Christine first. Christine Geiger from Michigan has been battling and fighting a First Amendment situation. She's had lawfare inflicted upon her and her business, and we'll let her share the story, what she's going through, what she's fighting with, and why she's traveling with us now. So Christine.
Thanks, Bruce. So yes, I'm Christine Geiger. I reside currently in northern Michigan. I've been a member of the Traverse City, Michigan community for about 30 years now. And last summer, I got to my breaking point as far as what prompted me to speak out through a Facebook post. I posted something that was how I felt about what was going on in this world. As far as the LGBTQ plus furry part of that. I have a hairstylist. I have clients that come in and talk to me about things to do with their grandchildren, their own children, nieces, nephews, people they know across the country, people in our own communities. And so many of them were talking to me about furries. And for those of you that don't know what furries are the individuals that identify as an animal, a dog or a cat. I'm sure there's other ones as well. And some of these institutions that we like to call schools have gone as far as implementing litter boxes and making accommodations. You know, will not allow children to dress up for Halloween, for a Halloween costume parade, but yet they will allow, and that is just one day of the year, but yet they will allow children to come to school wearing dog ears and tails and whatnot and crawling around the floor, meowing, barking, things like that. So we live in a time that is just very, very unsettling. And we as conservatives, even moderates, just your regular, average, common sense person, for far too long, we've just sat back and we've taken it. We've ignored it. We've thought, you know what, that's them, I'm the me, we'll let it be. And that attitude, that approach, the same attitude that keeps people at home watching football games or watching the latest episode of The Bachelorette, rather than going out to their city council meeting or to the school board meetings or other important events in their local communities and their states. This attitude of just let it be is what got us here. And I couldn't take it anymore. Last year, Pride Day, as it originally was, and then it turned into Pride Week, then it was Pride Month, but last year I felt like we had Pride Quarter. Well, how much longer is it going to be before we just have Pride all the time? And I get it, like, be proud of who you are. If you are gay, lesbian, whatnot, trans, that's your choice. Own it, be happy. But you know what? I'm a straight heterosexual individual and I'm proud of that too. And there's not a voice for us. And so I made a Facebook post and I said, if anyone identifies as anything other than a man or a woman, you should probably go to a pet groomer because this isn't the salon for you. And I went on to say that I wasn't going to cater to pronouns and so on and so forth. Well, little did I know, this was all in perfect timing with what was happening in the state of Michigan with the Elliott-Larsen Act. The Elliott-Larsen Act at that time was being amended to broaden the coverage for citizens of Michigan. And what they were trying to do is they did include it to protect the LGBTQ plus class as well. But, you know, there's some things with the Elliott-Larsen Act that have some issues that we've, you know, gone through and found with. And when you start dissecting some of the wording that they have in these laws and amendments and different things like that, words matter. And they have neglected to cross their T's and dot their I's completely. The amendments and the changes that they made, they were made last year, but they didn't go into effect until this year. I made my post last year. Why we're even in litigation whatsoever over this issue is absolutely ridiculous, because at the time that I made the statement, the publication online, the laws had not changed. But needless to say, they are pushing through with their agenda just like they always do. And in November last year, they issued 3 formal charges of discrimination. These were complaints that were filed with the Department of Civil Rights based on somebody reading through their social media feed and being offended. I never met these people. I never turned them away for services. In fact, over the course of my career, I have cut hair for gay people, lesbian people, even transitioning people. Not a problem whatsoever. It's just business. The statement that I made was in response to so many changes that I was seeing in society. I wanted to stand up and take a stance that I, as a woman and a mother, I only believe that there are 2 genders, just like those of us that were raised to be Christians. We know that. There's 2 genders, that's it. If anybody wants to pretend or identify as anything other than a man or a woman, that's their choice. But I do not, nor the rest of you, have to feed into their idea of what they want to be. Like I said earlier, you do you, I do me. And that is how it should be. The statement that I made is continually brought back to the LGBTQ plus issue. And maybe that's how it started out. But when the state of Michigan decided to charge me, decided to have their public officials, such as Betsy Kofia, who is a congresswoman in the Michigan, Traverse City, Grand Traverse County area, Dana Nessel, Attorney General, and even our own governor, Gretchen Whitmer, when the government officials decided to encourage the public to harass me and talk about my character over something that I said online, I typed it out, it was my opinion, that is freedom of speech. That is a publication. That is our First Amendment. That is my First Amendment right. My First Amendment right, just like the rest of you, allows us to say what is on our mind. When we do that, we take the risk of backlash. I happily accepted the backlash. The backlash was worth being able to stand up for what I believe in and what so many of you others believe in as well. This case right now is still going through litigation. Last November, we proactively went on the offense, and my attorney, David Delaney, filed a case in the Grand Traverse County court system. Judge Kevin Elsenheimer was assigned the case, and if that name sounds familiar to some of you, it should. He was also the judge that presided over the Antrim County issues. And we all know what he did not do and that he should have done with that case. Well, once again, he passed the buck. He didn't have the kahunas to rule on it himself. He just simply transferred it back to the administrative law judge, which is a court that is very favorable to the governor. These are judges that are appointed by the governor. This is a roasting. In fact, we knew it was a roasting. We went through our court system in Grand Traverse County only to have everything dismissed, and we had to file an appeal with the Michigan Supreme Court. Last month in August, on the 22nd, we were supposed to participate in another hearing, this time down with the administrative law judge. We declined to participate. We were not going to go through the railroading. We already know how they're going to proceed with this. They're going to proceed the same way that they always do. They're going to railroad right through. They're going to redefine the law as they see fit. They want to silence patriots. They want to silence conservatives, and I'm not standing for it. And neither should anyone else. And now is the time to stand up, to do what is needed to take back our country. And that looks so different for so many people. And the way that I chose to go about it isn't the way that everyone should go about it. I mean, you have to find your own path. You have to find what is comfortable for you. But you have to do something. You can't just continue to go through life with your tunnel vision and only focused on the things in your immediate little circle. There's so much more that's happening in this world that will affect your circle if you don't get involved. And it's so important to be able to participate in the Unity Tour and all of the other amazing things that Screw Big Gov, Freedom in Action, Remember Your Oath, all of the things that are a part of Screw Big Gov are tools that every single one of us can use. There's an app that's launching. That app is going to be available on the iTunes store and in the Android. I am an iPhone girl, so I'm not as familiar with your terminology for the other brands, but the apps are available for a lot of the devices. And this app is going to be a game changer. This app is going to help people, give them the tools, the resources, the ability to connect with other people, the ability to share things in real time that are not going to be censored, are not going to be suppressed by the big tech companies. And the people have what we need. We're getting to that point now where there really is no excuses find your niche, get involved, and make it a better day. Every day is a chance to make a little bit more progress, and for that, I'm really grateful. I hope everyone out there has a great day today. Thanks.
That's good. I was listening. Very good. Check. Working on the fly here. We're good to go. So I got my hands full. We got in our spectator crowd behind us the masses of people that are on the other side of the camera. We're being attacked by ants. Getting your feet. So we got some all natural, no DEET stuff that'll help keep the ants away. So we're fighting that here. I'm also fighting inside of myself to not get upset. When we travel around, and I understand, it's a Thursday. Had to ask somebody to say Thursday. It's Thursday, midday. I know people have jobs and working and still stuff like that, but it's super disheartening to see the lack of excitement from a larger number of people. That's been, I think, here in the United States. We see, you watch the news reports over the last couple of years, massive protests in Brazil, France, the farmers, all kinds of big, huge protests, tens of thousands, sometimes even more people protesting what the government is doing, protesting against the tyranny that's going on in their backyards. But here in the United States, we haven't had enough pain here yet, obviously. What's it going to take? What's it going to take before it spurs more people to action? Because it's unity is the key. I'm sure everybody has seen the meme, right? We're a bunch of people are bent over. The board game, the elites are playing their game of greed and corruption against we the people. All we got to do is stand up and the game is over. That's all we got to do. There's other memes. One person stands up, and that one person inspires courage for somebody else to stand up, and then 2 people, and then 4, and then 8. It's an exponential thing. So that we're trying to lead by example. Being out doing what we do, and it's costing time. It's costing money. There's way more things that I could consider to be more fun, but my life right now is these people, my tribe, the Screw Big Gov family, the Unpopular Viewpoint family, all the other people that we have met. This is our tribe. We're coming together, and we need more. We need more. We need more. We need more people to stand up, because if we don't, like I said before, what does it look like? Do you want to be like Venezuela, where we're having to rummage through dumpsters, to find our next meal? This as I started out here, I scanned around. This area seems very depressed. Lots of homeless camps, tent cities, going on here. That just shouldn't be. There's plenty enough resources where there doesn't need to be people, homeless, especially a lot of veterans. And I'm sure the illegal aliens are put up somewhere in a nice fancy hotel, while a lot of these people living out here probably are, ex-military, who knows what. And so we're all getting the shaft. If you like getting the shaft, man, keep doing what you're doing, which is nothing. But we're it's like I said, what we're seeing today has been a microcosm of the larger problem here in America. And I would encourage people. I know what happened today with the VFW is not a standard situation with VFWs. Normally, VFWs welcome us with open arms. This guy somehow or another got his panties all in a wad because we rolled up, and he says we're a political event. We're not political, because it doesn't matter your political ideologies. If you can't get behind, it doesn't matter the party. It's not political. This is just normal, common sense American stuff. So I would encourage, if there's any veterans out there, people or members of a VFW, write a letter, an email, send a letter email. I'm sure I'll find out what the actual post number is, so that you can write the state. Here in California, there's a state VFW hierarchy, and even the national VFW. Let them know. this is, this is what we can do. This is a small thing. You don't have to get off your couch. All you got to do is pen a letter, pen an email, send it off. And more people that do that, we're going to, help this guy that was over here. He's not a typical VFW. I don't know if he was just the manager, if he's the post commander. I have no idea his title. But normally VFWs welcome us with open arms. So it was a little bit odd this morning that happened. But hey, we do, and we move around, we adapt. We got Michelle Ski out. Let's hear from Michelle about what she has seen, what her feelings are about how things have developed here the last couple of days. Because yesterday in Vegas we had a fantastic event, and also our sponsor, Verity Metals, Matt Geiger, Verity Metals. Go to veritymetals.com. Just do research. If you're looking, you got to protect yourself, your 401k, IRAs, whatever. You need to have some portion of that in, I believe, precious metals. I'm not giving financial advice. I'm not a financial advisor, but Matt Geiger, go to the website, veritymetals.com. There's information you can call, email, and he'll guide you down the path where you need to go. He just wants people to be prepared. It's not about selling you metals or anything like that. He'll give you advice, even if he might even direct you outside of his company. I've heard him talk to people about doing that. There might be something that they're wanting or looking for that he can't provide. He'll point you in the right direction. So Matt Geiger of Verity Metals, sponsor of the Unity Tour. Go check him out. Michelle, come on over here. Michelle Skiow from Colorado. Many people have known or seen her on Truth Tour events. She's a fantastic helper. She's probably the best hugger that I have ever experienced. She's very good at giving hugs. And just a quick little story about how we met. Truth Tour 2 or Truth Tour 1, the grand finale in Las Vegas. I'm sitting outside. This old lady rolls up on a Harley.
Old lady. Bullshit.
Hair's all over the place. She dismounts the iron horse, picking the bugs out of her teeth. We got to talking. And it's like now she's gonna kick my ass.
You're right. Forget about the hugs.
Yeah. I'm hugging her so she can't get it closer so she can't hit me so hard. But no, she's a fantastic human individual. The people that we meet on this Truth Tour, this Unity Tour, and the Truth Tours all around the country have just been. They're like I've known them my entire life, and previous lives probably too. So Michelle Scale from Colorado. The young and vibrant Michelle Skiow with lots of wisdom.
Now after that, I'm not letting you ride the bike anymore. Well, welcome and thank you. And yes, this is the Unity Tour. And we've got Unity Tour, but if you look at Bruce's shirt, it says, "We the people are the plan." And it is up to us, we the people. I got this shirt after the attempted assassination on Trump, and he threw up his arms, fight, fight, fight. But that wasn't for him. It was telling us that we've got to fight for our freedom. We've been bestowed with inalienable rights that are ours and cannot be taken away unless we cede them. And all we have to do is to look to the indigenous populations in California and throughout the United States, throughout South America and Central America. What did they do? They came, and they came in peace. And they let the conquerors, the colonialists that came from Europe, come attempting to do now. That assassination attempt in the Congress and Senate, right away. Aren't you going to ban AK-47s? Aren't you going to ban AR-15s? We have to stand up, and we have to stand up together, all of us, unity. And like Bruce said, we're not political. This benefits all of us. And if we go back to looking at the indigenous communities, they work together. They were not divided. And what the cabal is doing is dividing all of us through religion, through race, through age. As Bruce pointed out that I'm a young lady. But at any rate, their whole message is to divide and conquer, and we need to come together. And as a unified group, we can't be conquered, and it only takes one or two people, and more of the masses will come and join. But together we can really make a stand, and we can maintain our rights that are given to us. And if you look at the indigenous communities, again, I'm going to go back to that. Not one person in the community would do without if somebody had something. Now, if they all had nothing, well, then they were all sharing in nothingness. But if one of them had something, they would share it with the other to make sure that no one was lacking. They looked out for one another. The reason that the colonialists came in is because they tried to break the connection between the indigenous, the creator, and the Mother Earth. They revered all things in life and respected all things in life. And they couldn't have that, because how can you divide people if they're all one with one another? And that's where we need to come back together. The other place that we need to really go back to, as Bruce had mentioned and Lewis is constantly messaging, is that the micro fixes the macro. And if you look at it, what are they trying to do? They're trying to take away our connection with our children. It used to be the kids would go to school at kindergarten, and now they're taking them away in preschool. And who's better to take care of your children than the parents themselves? Who loves them more? You want to have some caretaker taking care of all the children? No. And all it is, the school system is not a school where education is being promoted. It's a system of indoctrination, and it's a prison. You know, when we were traveling in Norway, talking to some of the people there, their kids go to school for 3 hours a day. They don't have homework, but they're involved in all types of activities amongst themselves and amongst the community. And again, if you look at the tribal way, they're doing the same thing. And it's up to us as parents to make sure and ensure that our children have a mind of their own and start thinking and questioning everything. I used to tell my students, read. When you're done reading, read some more. And when you're done reading some more, read some more and question everything, including me. Because we can all throw out all kinds of shit. We can throw out all our beliefs. But what beliefs do you have unless you look at all aspects? And don't just look at what you... And I definitely would not have kept you in school for 8 hours a day to sit in a chair, which is nothing more than a prison cell, with somebody telling you what to do, how to think. There is no Socratic learning anymore. And the children, one of the biggest beefs I had with the children was I'd ask them, what questions do you have? Question me, give me some questions. They were taught just to absorb and not think for themselves. And we've got to really change that. I see that we're having an ant dance over here. Everybody's moving around. I apologize that. Thank you for staying with us to do this. But if there's anything that I can say to you going forward, look at all of the similarities we have amongst ourselves. Differences they're throwing, the cabal throws out to us. That's all they want to do is divide us. We have more in common. We're all the Creator's children. We're all mothers, fathers, brothers, sisters, children, grandchildren. Let's look at what we can do for one another. Instead of looking at all the problems that have been in the past, let's look at how we can create solutions to move forward where everybody benefits instead of just the few. And I thank you very much. Anybody have any questions? No.
Awesome.
Young. Young.
Vibrant,
young.
yes.
We're young.
We're aging in reverse.
44 forevermore.
No, she's exactly right. I mean, that's, she was talking, I was thinking to myself, what, the Q talks about, tell us to question everything, right? There's many times Q talks about expanding our thinking. If we talk about unity, I constantly push about the number one universal law. The first universal law is the law of divine oneness. And how do we participate in that? If we have to understand that everything that we do, everything that we say, everything we think can have effect on our entire existence, our entire reality. If you're having a bad day, and you take that out and you're short or terse with somebody, you don't know what's going on. That could affect, and it's a ripple effect. And I know it's way easier to say than it is to do, but if we set our intention on trying to be the best humans we can be, you know, exhibiting love in every aspect, exhibiting, you know, empathy for other people. I mean, there's a time, you know, like I had mentioned before, it's disheartening. I'm a little, sometimes I get pissed off because I'm not seeing, you know, more action from we the people. We're still, you know, Lewis mentions it, I say it almost at every show, there's far too many people still sitting around, eating their popcorn, you know, waiting for Trump, the white hats, the alliance to ride in on a white horse and save the day. They're limited on what they can do. That they can do military-wise, legally and lawfully. They're doing what they can. 80% is behind the scenes, 20% public. There's more and more disclosures coming about different things. People are being brought to the forefront and being exposed for what they are. There's lots of fake, phony, and false stuff floating around out there to distract us, keep us from taking the actions that we need to take to affect our local community. And like I said, there's fear that's rolling around. So if you're operating in those things, those are going to be the ripple effects. If you're operating in anxiety and in fear and worry, then you're going to manifest that. If you're thinking about that, you're living in that space in your head, because your subconscious brain, subconscious mind does not know the difference between our experiential reality through our senses, that's our conscious mind, and the dreams. The subconscious doesn't know the difference. So if you're thinking and you're visualizing of all kinds of bad stuff, what do you think is going to manifest in your physical, your experiential reality? That's what's going to manifest. So if we got to, you know, work on it minute by minute sometimes to be able to maintain that positive outlook, that love bubble, you know, trying to be, when everything else is burning around you and you're happy and you're experiencing the best life that you can, people are going to say, hey, what's wrong with you? Why are you so happy? You should be depressed like me and everybody else. No, I don't. I don't live there. I don't like to be like that. I'm always glass half full kind of guy. Let's fix it. Let's talk about the 500-pound gorilla in the room. Let's, you know, get everything out on the table and see what we can do to take care of these 4 pillars. We start pulling that rope. I mentioned the other day that we're in this tug of war against the evil Luciferian asshat cabal, and we the people, it's a tug of war. They're pulling the rope, but many of the patriots are pulling the rope in all kinds of different directions, and we're not gaining any ground. We seem to be getting shorter and shorter on the amount of rope that we have. So we need all hands on deck to do this, to be able to move this timeline quicker. I mean, if you're happy if it's going to take 10, 20, 30 years to turn this ship around, what's going to be life going to be like in between? You know, I would rather go through some pain right now and deal with it, and then we can get on to rebuilding, rather than just do nothing and wait for it to shake out on its own. I don't like that second option very much. Where's Alan Fountain? He's hiding. And he's in the dressing room. He's getting hair and makeup done. Hair and makeup for Alan. But Alan's here with us, and we also got Dr. Layla Ali. And if you've never heard Dr. Layla Ali, she is fantastic, wealth of knowledge. She's got multiple books that she's put out. We'll let her talk about those, about getting off of Big Pharma and all the, get away from the unprescribed, I think is one of the name of your books, right? Unprescribed? No?
Off balance.
Yeah. See, she knows what she's talking about. I don't. But Alan, come on over here, buddy. You look amazing.
Hey, thank you. Appreciate it.
So we got Alan Fountain here traveling with us.
Thank you.
Good if you have that microphone. You got to project for the massive crowd that's here.
Like I'm on stage, and
Right.
that's the Met or something.
Absolutely. Yep. That's how do you get to Carnegie Hall?
You got to see. You got to
Practice.
project. You know, so I'm gonna project to the right field.
Well, tell people what's going on with you and how
Absolutely.
you're fighting the cabal.
Well, thank you, Bruce. I appreciate it. My name is Alan Fountain, and I am from the state of Georgia. And my specialty in this movement is I've kind of been
Otherwise, you just got a cold or the flu. So you just eat some chicken soup, get some black elderberry syrup, some vitamin C, get you some of that quercetin stuff to help get the zinc inside your cells. You'll be good to go. So we got next coming up here to share with you, and then we're going to get Lewis. If we can drag him out of the RV, he's working like guy never stops working. He never stops. He is constantly pushing for we the people. So he's in there doing stuff, getting things lined up for other events down the road. But I was so happy when we pulled up here in this park, and I saw Layla Ali. Has been, last time was a couple months ago, or several months ago when we were on the Truth Tour stuff, when we had her come. But she's a phenomenal person. She's very funny, very informative. She loves we the people, and she's doing her part in helping people become aware, get off of the pharmaceuticals, and give people a peace of mind about their health and stuff like that. So Layla Ali, welcome to San Bernardino, California.
Thank you very much, Bruce. Amazing intro, and thanks to all you guys for staying still. That's awesome. So I am Dr. Layla Ali, and I've been on a mission to help people get off medication and find better solutions, and that's become my mission. And to give a little backstory, I started out, my father was a medical doctor and a surgeon, and my mother a surgical technologist, so I didn't know there was any other options. So we also had in the hallway closet, we had a cabinet full of medication. So whenever somebody was sick, there was always something there to make us feel better. So when I decided to go to pharmacy school, I wanted to continue that access and also have a better understanding of the medications. But there were some things that happened. There were some epiphanies I had along the way when I realized that I didn't really feel safe about the medication. And one was when we were learning about rheumatoid arthritis. There's these medications, and it runs in my family, and I was paying attention, and they suppress the immune system. You'll take a non-steroidal anti-inflammatory, then you'll take another one, and then they'll take one to suppress immune. So at that point, I didn't feel safe with the medications. And there's another epiphany after pharmacy school, and they were talking about cleansing, and cleansing was very trendy, but we didn't learn anything about cleansing in pharmacy school. So I asked a friend of mine to get me a cleansing kit so I could just get the bare minimum and do one, and it had things I never heard before. It said 95% of diseases are caused by what we eat. I said, well, that can't be true. If that was true, I have a doctor title in a healthcare profession. Somebody would have told me about that. And so at that point, I started looking up causes of diseases in our therapeutics book. Our therapeutics book is 1,600 pages. It has all the disease states and the causes and the treatment plans. And it had nothing about food. It said the causes are multifactorial and not completely understood, or aggressive factors and defense mechanisms. It was all this kind of jibber jabber we had to memorize for a test. And so at that point, I really started going off and learning about holistic. And I would hold the monthly mixer in Long Beach, California, and I met a lot of holistic practitioners. I learned they were treating things better than we did with Western medicine. They had things that we considered incurable that they were doing a better job with. And so that's when I wrote my first book, which is Off Balance, The American Way of Health, a pharmacist's perspective on why drugs don't work. And so now lately, since all this time has passed, my first book was 2012, so I've been doing a deprescribing class on Mondays. And so we teach people how to get off meds and find better solutions to them. So we're meeting every Monday at 11, and I just wanted to share some of the things we've learned since doing this. And one is the power of the mind. And so our minds are really powerful. We can use our minds to make us sicker or to help us heal. And the drug companies know that, right? So if they test a drug, they'll test it against a placebo. There's been many cases where the placebo actually does better. And so they'll take the placebo. So what happens when the drug company has this investment in this new chemical and a placebo does better? Do they go, wow, that's amazing. We don't need this. Let's show people how to use the power of the minds to help us heal. They don't do that, right? Because there's no money in the power of the mind. But one of the people speaking this month is going to be a hypnotherapist who healed himself with hypnotherapy. He had incurable neuropathy. He was told he'd be in a wheelchair, and he learned how to do hypnotherapy to heal it. He went to the subconscious mind and said all the cells in the body are happy and healthy, and he was able to heal himself completely. He's now 80-something years old, not on any meds, doing amazing. So there's so many ways to heal that people don't know. Another thing we talk about a lot is emotions. Emotions, we all have emotions, we all experience them, but what do you do with them? They're really important to know how to express and release emotions. We have no training in that, no training in life, no training in any medical school or pharmacy school. And if you have a parent that suppresses their emotion, then explode one day, others are crying all the time, what are you supposed to do? And Sigmund Freud, kind of emotion they've been through. So it's another super important aspect of health that we never cover in pharmacy school. Then we also talk about nutrition. What are we supposed to eat? Nobody knows what's supposed to eat. What's real food? It's still a mystery. I had probably, a week of training on it. So I don't know except what I learned on the outside. But we know the processed food is bad. And we know that people from all over the world eat different things. But they're natural. They're meat. Everything's from the earth, organic. Or the closer they are to the indigenous tribes and the way of life is, the more healthier you become. Once McDonald's shows up, it's all over, right? And then there's detoxification. We learned nothing about detoxification in pharmacy school. It's not even a thing, you know? So I didn't learn about that till after, but we have the body's always working to detoxify. We have the lungs working to breathe it out. The skin's always letting go of toxins. The liver's working hard. And we need to do that on a regular basis, even now so, because we know the government's really not our friend, and we're getting more poison than we are even evolved to deal with. So that's another issue. We took a look at lifestyle. There's some small things that you can do on a daily basis that can make big effect on your health. Grounding is one of them, walking barefoot, getting the sunshine. Some simple things, walking and moving can make a huge difference, and these are generally pretty free. And then there's energy healing. We don't learn anything about energy healing in pharmacy school, but a lot of these different practices use energy to help move. All these, like acupuncture, diseases caused by stuck energy. Reiki healing is Japanese, and they address healing energy. So all these different practices around the world address energy. We don't address it here, and it needs to come back into things. So we look at nutrition, we look at detox, we look at emotions, we look at the power of the mind, we look at lifestyle, we look at energy, all these things. And what you'll find is if you go to the doctor with diabetes, you know, they'll start giving you meds. It's considered a long-term incurable disease. If you go to and everybody goes to the CDC website, the World Health Organization, the American Diabetes Association, they're all the same monster. They're going to give you the same thing, and they start getting in your mind that you're going to be diabetic long term and just start living with it. They don't tell you how to reverse it. If you look at the words very carefully, they're going to talk about how to live with diabetes, right? They're always saying how to live with diabetes and manage your diabetes. They don't want to reverse it, but you go and see some other documentaries, you can reverse type 2 diabetes in 2 weeks. I mean, literally, for most cases, even severe. It's that simple, and it's that ridiculous that people are spending. They're spending $16,000 per patient per year on diabetes. And it's that, like, people are going to look back and think, oh my God, this is such a disaster. How do people not know? And then Alzheimer's is another one. If you go to these Alzheimer's government websites, they say if you have early symptoms of Alzheimer's, you should start getting your affairs in order, is what they're telling you. Start planning who's going to manage your money and things like that. Who's going to manage you and take care of you and put you to bed and feed you. There's a lot of things you can do to help with your brain health. And one is, according to the medical medium, you want to get the toxins. Alzheimer's is associated with mercury toxicity, and he gives you shakes and ways to get rid of the mercury. There's also nicotine. All the cells in the brain have nicotine receptors. That's another one we were looking at. And also there's Lion's Mane, which is a supplement that actually helps grow brain cells. So if you go to the big websites, you go to the doctor, they're going to prepare you for a long-term disease, but you don't have to deal with the long-term disease. And
it was horrible. It was the worst time in my life. I was done. I wanted to cash in my chips. I wasn't suicidal, but I had given up. Everything had beat me down, the health stuff. I wasn't feeling right. Then I started doing my own research, became my own best advocate, started looking into I was on 10 different meds for my cardiac stuff. I never had high blood pressure, but all these meds had a lowering effect on my blood pressure, and I was living at 90/60, and it wouldn't take much for that stuff to crash out a little bit lower, and every time I'd stand up, I'd feel like I'd be grabbing walls, feeling like I'm gonna pass out. So I started cutting meds. I started with the one I thought I needed the least, started cutting them. I started feeling better and better, got to a point where I was down to 4 or 5, and even my doctor was like, wow, you're doing really fantastic. Keep doing what you're doing. So I started more research, removing meds, was down to 2. The antiplatelet one I was taking, and the heart strengthener, the brand name is Corig, but there's a Carvedilol, I think is the name of the generic. Anyway, was on those 2. Last December I went in. Again, I'm on a 6-year cycle, seems like, to change out my device. Switched doctors. He did a stellar job. This one surgery, woohoo, got it right, but I stopped taking my meds. I have not been on any pharmaceutical medication for heart stuff since December of the last year, and I feel better now than I ever have. Taking vitamin supplements, trying to eat right, having that the positive mindset, because your mind will affect your body. If you got a shitty attitude, it's going to affect your health, and vice versa. If you just change up how you feel, you change up your physiology, how you carry yourself, you're going to feel better. When I go into most places, I walk into a place, I walk in like I own the place, and that's just the attitude that you have, and you will overcome all kinds of stuff. So that's kind of a brief history of my personal testimony of my health stuff. Feeling fantastic. And let's see, what else? Last thing we want to do is talk to the boss, right? Lewis has been working. We finally were able to drag him out of the trailer. And so I'm sure he's got some lovely words and he'd like to share, because he's the one who was kind of having that conversation. If anybody's joined us late, go to the Unity Tour Instagram or Screw Big Gov Instagram or Lewis's X account and see the video he posted this morning from the guy at the VFW telling us we couldn't do our event there that we had set up way ahead of time. We roll up, no political event. It was a big ordeal. So we moved down the road. We're in a park, and the address is 1717, kind of nice. But we're out here enjoying nature. Got the sun coming through with the smoke from the fires in San Bernardino. So we're here doing what we do. Lewis Herms is the brainchild behind Screw Big Gov, Truth Tour, Freedom in Action, Unity Tour, Remember Your Oath, 20-some movies and documentaries and different things. He is have been affectionately known as the godfather of the Truther movement. Mr. Even Keel, giving up everything. He has sacrificed, him and his wife has sacrificed so much for we the people. I mean, many people watching know his story. He lost a multi-million-dollar construction or rehab company, lost all that. Just out here doing what he can, any way we can, for we the people to wake us up, get us activated, so that we can continue to rebuild this new earth, new America, new economy, all kinds of things that need to be rebuilt. And we're moving closer and closer to that point. So please help me bring up here Mr. Lewis Herms.
Thank you, my brother. Thank you to everybody in the back. You say that. Oh, wow. What a day already, right? So we left Las Vegas at 5 a.m. to get down here into a wonderful greeting at the San Bernardino VFW. That was beautiful. My even keelness threw out a cuss word or two when we were there. And I'm just going to be straightforward, folks. The New World Control is a real thing, right? Trump derangement syndrome is a real thing. People getting triggered and not even knowing why is a real thing. So we intentionally created the Unity Tour to unite people under 4 basic pillars that really, if we have an ounce of common sense, you know, just even two brain cells to rub together, if we just have two, we would all agree that, yeah, we don't need New World control. Illegal immigration doesn't really work anywhere. And you can call it Trump derangement syndrome. We can call it whatever you want. All I know is it's a mass MK Ultra. And what's interesting about that is anybody, all you people out there, you know Kathy O'Brien? By the way, I'm having fun, guys, because we have a beautiful small audience here, right? And they're fantastic. They're sticking it out in the sun. They're getting bit by ants. Yes, I do notice. I notice you're getting chewed up by red ants. And thank you for just standing in place. Thank you very much. Ouch. Anyways, it's incredible what we go through in the state of California. I'm from California, and California is a beautiful, beautiful place. But California is a beautiful place based on the natural topography and the weather, of course, right? But there's some incredible people here. I believe personally that we are in a conservative state. In fact, there's a lot of evidence to show that. So where my wife and I come from is we come from Ventura County. Does anybody remember the Gavin Newsom recall, right? We did an independent poll. We didn't know if we were talking to Democrats, Republicans, or people that are independent. When Gavin Newsom was put up for the recall, we asked 26 people that we had no idea what their political views are. We were shocked to find 26 out of 26 said we're recalling Gavin Newsom. Yet he won 67% of the vote, right? And actually, the first poll, the first results that came out, by the way, said 66.6% of the vote. It's like the Satanists are really telling you what they're doing, right? So I am absolutely sure that we live in a conservative state. But what happens is the left-wing Marxists, even though they're less, they are so much louder than we are, right? So if somebody sees what happened today when we were at the VFW right down the street, and let me preface this, we've been to 40 other VFWs, and they have their open arms to us. They never have any challenges whatsoever with that, right? Never, ever, ever. So when we were at the VFW down the street, he had a problem based on politics. And then we did get loud. We got very loud because we have to start using the same processes that the Marxists use against us. We cannot not do that anymore. We have to be the loudest voice in the room. Because you know what? Think about it. They're the loudest voice, and what are they protecting? They're protecting abortion. They're protecting New World control. They're protecting... So let's think about it. Should we not be the loudest voice in the room when we're actually trying to stop these crazy things? But we're not. We've been conditioned as patriots to become cool and collective. I would suggest at this time and date, we should be done with being so relaxed about all this stuff, because literally they're tearing down our country completely. We're already in a state of communism. People can kind of agree on that. We're already there, right? So now it's about reversing communism. And we don't do that with just kisses and hugs, right? I do believe that you throw love to your enemy, but we also need to hold them accountable. And again, I say over and over and over, when Jesus was throwing over tables, you think that he was just saying, hey guys, stop that. I don't like that. I have a feeling Jesus was probably very loud, indicating what's going on. So it's muy importante, as my wife would say, to stand up and be loud. And if anybody watches this video on Telegram or X, or I think it's on Instagram, it's all over the place, you'll hear her in the background being very loud, especially at the end, right? And it's hilarious. And she's right over there. I just embarrassed her because it's worthwhile to watch. But the key is, I think this is a demonstration of how we need to push back. In the face of this tyranny, we need to stand up and make a difference. And I believe 100% God has already won, and we the people need to step up and make a difference. We really can make a difference, guys. We just need to know that we hold all the power, And when I say all the power, I mean all of it. There's proven time and time again. So what we're doing is we're really paying attention to school boards that are changing things right now. Many, many school boards are now being overturned and being overruled. In fact, I've been preaching for about a year, year and a half, I think it is, that if you really want to win against a school board that's a hard-headed and they don't want to listen, create a parallel school board to theirs. Finally, in Jacksonville, I got a phone call after we had an event there, and 3 people that are very powerful there, they said, we're doing exactly that. So they're going to create a parallel school board to their existing school board, and they're going to, because they know the values of the parents and the kids, they're going to draw all the parents to that school board, right? And then ultimately, they can make a vote and they can submit to say, hey, no, this is the school board we want. And worst case scenario is they just keep presenting, look at, this is what the parents really want. How are you going to address this? This is what the parents, so we're forming these forces. I would recommend to everybody watching right now, if you have a school board that you're concerned with, just create an alternate school board. Take the power, because we hold all the power. We are sovereign individuals. We've been pushed down to believe that we're not, but we absolutely are sovereign individuals. So I think that's about it for today. Does anybody have anything that they want me to touch on? Not that I would have a clue, because my nickname is Clueless Lewis, but I'll do my best. Any subjects? Yeah.
What can we do to help with the upcoming election, like physically in our area?
Looking for volunteers. The time is running short to get the training done. We're a little more than a month away.
Right.
But if not, just be there and be in, observe the rules and just be observant when you're going through there.
And be loud.
Yeah.
And be loud in a very productive manner. Be loud. One more thing. Go ahead.
Wear red.
And wear red?
Yes.
Okay.
It's a visual representation of where we stand.
Okay. Got it. I don't fully agree with that, only because I'm done with the division of the red and the blue and everything like that. But I totally understand where you're coming from. And if you guys resonate with that, wear red, and then it'll say where you're coming from. So what I would suggest is go to our app that's just about ready to come out. It's called Freedom in Action. And we kind of, by accident, found something on there that's really cool. So the app on Freedom in Action is really cool because you can geo-target in your area and find other patriots that you resonate with, which is really cool. There's an event section on there, so you'll know you can geo-target anywhere in the country from 10 miles to 4,000 miles, find events that you can go to. But by accident, we figured out, because we can post videos and we can post images on there, the way it works is it time and date stamps everything. So one of the most powerful things we can do during the elections, we have the Freedom in Action app. You take live, if you see some things that are out of sorts, you take a picture, you take a video, or you just write it down. You're like, you say this precinct, this poll, bam, and post it. And we have live evidence right there all across the country of shenanigans going on. Hopefully that helps stop it, but if it doesn't, what we've done is we've created a record that can be used as evidence chronologically, more powerful than all the elections previous to this, just by doing that, if we're all on the same page. Imagine if we get 100,000 people in Freedom in Action app, which is free, by the way, 100,000 people, and they're making sure they're watching these election ballots right there. What's going on here? Look at, they're having markers. We shouldn't have markers. We should have pens. Ooh, this one has pencils. They can erase it. They're forcing it into a machine. There's so many things, right? Oh, look at, I went up to vote. They said I already voted. If everybody is doing this stuff, that is a massive book of evidence that we have, and it's going to be really easy for us to do something in the future. Plus, when Trump is back in office, I have a feeling he'll appoint another 400,000 judges, who knows, right? And we're going to actually start prosecuting this. Because remember that one of the best things President Trump has put out in the last week is that cease and desist letter. Do we all read that? So that cease and desist letter specifically says how they're going to be held accountable. So let's help him out. Let's build this book of evidence and say, hey, you want to hold him accountable? We've got it here. We have 100,000 people, million people, whatever it is, posting all this stuff. So it's pretty cool. Any other questions? Anything we want to talk about? Cool. Well, that about does it for today, folks. This was a quick stop for us. We got kicked out of the VFW down the street, and We adapted, we overcame, we found a park. By the way, I know Bruce mentioned, but the park's address is 1717. So clearly somebody else knew about that before we knew about it, which is awesome. Folks, I'd just like to say God bless you. Online, you get to watch the really cool videos. We appreciate you. We're heading over to San Diego right now. So if you're watching now and you're nearby in California, head over to San Diego. Got a lot of great speakers. Hey, we have in the back. Yes, way in the back, your question.
Hey, Neumi, can I get a picture of everybody so I can promote the next 2 stops in California?
100%. It's 100%. All right, folks. Good night. I mean, good day. Where are we? What day is it? Are we at night? I don't even know where we are right now. Right? It's upside down world. Everybody online, we love you. See, bye-bye.